Hello, and welcome to the Frostburg Experience. I'm Minuet Silver. On today's show, we will be going into the kitchen with Chartwell chefs Justin Wilson and Adam Kenney. And we will hear from Wesley Landrum about the presence and importance of intramural sports at Frostburg State University. Later, we'll be joined by Frostburg State University Police Lieutenant John Ralston and Frostburg's Fire Chief Doug Hanson. But first, let's learn about the farm-to-table food movement in Western Maryland.
Here in Frostburg, we're lucky enough to have a restaurant that believes in the concept of farm-to-table food. The name of that restaurant is Shift, located on Broadway Street in Frostburg. Most of the food they prepare comes from Savage River Farm in Garrett County, Maryland. We stopped by the farm and spoke to Ben Yoder, who co-owns it with his wife, Hannah.
I think the idea behind farm-to-table is cutting out the distributors that are maybe as time has gone on, like as decades have passed, distributors have sort of slowly pushed out more low quality food to restaurants, and it's become the norm. Like, people have kind of forgotten what really good, fresh food, whether it's meat or produce, tastes like. And so I think a lot of the farm to table restaurant is more than just farm to restaurant table. It's also kind of like farm to dinner table, you know. Our involvement with Shift has been from the beginning, when Jess first not opened the restaurant, but first started trying to put together the funding and was just having this vision for Shift. She approached us and let us know what she was doing, because we're a local farm producing fresh, naturally raised produce and meat. So we were obviously a natural fit. So we grow. A lot of stuff we grow and raise here is for Shift. So once a week, we make a delivery to Jess, and she comes up with creative specials or whatever from what we have available.
For the Frostburg Experience, I'm Adam Brandt.
Thanks, Adam. When we return, Chartwell chefs show us how to prepare an affordable and delicious meal. Please stay tuned.
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him going on to fascinate millions with his talent? 1 in 260,000. The odds of this born racer having 157 career top 10 finishes in NASCAR? 1 in 125 billion. The odds of him winning both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year? 1 in 195 million. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism? 1 in 110. I'm NASCAR driver Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism.
Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Lead paint poisoning affects 1 million children today. If you're pregnant or have young children and your home was built before 1978, you could be at risk. Learn how to protect your family. To find your home's danger zones, the health effects, or just to find help, log on to leadfreekids.org.
Welcome back. Still to come on today's show, we'll learn about some home and personal safety tips and about various recreational activities available to folks in Western Maryland. But first, let's go on location to Chesapeake Dinning Hall, where two chefs from FSU's dining services provider, Chartwell's, will show us how to prepare a nutritious and delicious meal.
My name is Justin Wilson. I'm the executive chef here at Frostburg State University.
My name is Adam Kenney. I'm the chef manager here at the Chesapeake Dining Hall at Frostburg State University.
Today we're making for you wild rice salad with chicken and garbanzo beans. Today for this recipe we'll be using brown rice, chicken breast, salad mix, garbanzo beans, celery, sliced mushrooms, dried cranberries, and a lemon vinaigrette. First we're going to start with 2 celery stalks. What we're going to do with these is just want a very thin slice. Remember, this is going on your salad, very thinly, and it's going to be raw. So you want to try to get these pretty thin. Next we have 2 portobello mushrooms, or you could use sliced mushrooms that you find in the market or small button mushrooms. So today we have portobello, which I have already cleaned the black out. What you want to do is clean the fungus that grows in here. It just sort of turns black if you cook it. So we just remove that, and I just want to do the same, just a nice thin slice. Next thing we have up is the chicken. What I have here are just some chicken breasts. You get these at any market, boneless, skinless breasts. And I have just around a pound, our recipe calls for. And you can actually use tenderloins, breasts, even thigh meat if you'd like. You can use turkey, if you want to use steak. Here we went for the money-saving route. We got the chicken breasts. And these are right around $3.69 a pound, I believe. But you just want to run your knife down the center. See how it splits it in half. That allows the chicken to cook faster. I'll do it to the rest of these here. Now after you get all these butterflied to the thinness that you'd like, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to saute them. All we have is a really hot pan here with a little bit of canola or olive oil, whatever you choose. Again, we want it to be about medium high to high heat, so we get a nice brown on the chicken. Be careful you don't want to splatter. And you don't want to overcrowd your pan either. If you have to do this twice, then you can do it twice. Just like so. We're going to cook each chicken about 3 to 5 minutes on each side. So you want to wait, you can keep checking like this. We're just going to let it go, and that's going to get brown, like I said, in about 3 to 5 minutes. We're going to go ahead and flip these. You can see how they're nice and golden brown. And let the other side work for about, again, 3 to 5 minutes.
All right, so now we're going to show you how to go about cooking your rice. So you're going to start with 2 cups of hot water. You're going to want to bring that to a boil. When it comes to a boil, you're going to add 1 cup of the brown rice. You want to keep stirring this. When this comes to a boil, you're going to want to turn it down to a simmer, and it's going to simmer for about 20 minutes. Kind of going to speed things up a little bit here. And once we've got this about 20-25 minutes, then your rice should look just about like this. All right, next we're going to show you guys how to saute the mushrooms. This can be kind of a dangerous process, so you want to get your pan fairly hot. Just be extremely careful. So you get your pan to where it's piping hot. You're going to add a little bit of oil. The key to getting a good brown on your mushrooms is to not have them too crowded in the pan. The air will allow them to get a nice brown color on them. All right, so after about 3 minutes, when you start to see the edges brown here, this is when your mushrooms are done and they're ready to go on your salad. All right, now we're going to show you guys how to prepare this simple vinaigrette. It's just a lemon vinaigrette. It has 5 ingredients. We've got sugar, red wine vinegar, lemon juice, canola oil, and fresh rosemary. So we're going to start by chopping up a little bit of fresh rosemary. And you don't need too much because it is very strong. So we're going to pick out the stem from there. You want to kind of go slow at first, or it's going to bounce your rosemary all around. And then when it starts to get smaller, you get a little faster. All right, so from there you're going to take about 2 tablespoons of oil and about a tablespoon of red wine vinegar. And we're going to use the juice of about half of a lemon. Just cut your lemon in half. Strain it through your hand here. Keep the seeds out of there. Then from there we're going to use about a tablespoon of sugar, our fresh rosemary. And from there we're just going to whisk everything together pretty much until your sugar dissolves.
Now we're going to start the assembly with our salad. We have our chicken. Just going to put it up top here. And grab our cooked mushrooms that we cooked earlier. Our garbanzo beans. A little bit of our celery. This adds a nice crunch for the salad. Our dried cranberries. A little bit of our brown rice. This just adds a nice starch and filling addition to the salad. And last but not least, we're gonna dress the salad with our lemon vinaigrette that Adam made earlier. You can put however much you'd like. Just gonna make sure it all gets a little bit of dressing. After you do the dressing, that's it. And you can serve it to you and your friends and enjoy.
Welcome back. That looked delicious. I can't wait to try that out for myself. Now we will hear from field reporter Adam Brandt about recreation opportunities on campus at Frostburg State University.
Here at Frostburg State University, there are many opportunities to get out and get active. The Indian and South Asian Student Association hosted a game of cricket for anyone that was interested in learning the game. Cricket is most popular in Australia, the United Kingdom, and India. Cricket is a bat and ball game that resembles the American sport, baseball. The similarities include the act of batting, scoring runs, fielding, and innings, which refers to each team's turn. Instead of having a pitcher, the person who throws to the batter is called a bowler. Cricket matches can take days to complete. The game is played by over 100 million people worldwide, making it the second most popular sport in the world. We would like to thank the Indian and South Asian Student Association for introducing Frostburg State University to the interesting sport of cricket. Organized sports are an excellent way for students to exercise and make friends on campus. Here at Frostburg State University, various intramural sports are offered every semester. We stopped in to check out a dodgeball match.
Woo, dodgeball!
For the Frostburg Experience, I'm Adam Brandt.
Thanks, Adam. When we return, Wesley Landrum will join us to talk about intramural sports at Frostburg State University. Please stay tuned.
Hungry? Yeah. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Welcome back. I'm joined in the studio by Wesley Landrum, the Director of Intramural Sports at Frostburg State University. Welcome to the show, Mr. Landrum.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming. So when did intramurals get their start at Frostburg?
As far as I know, it's been at least 25 years since you know, the late 80s, early 90s.
Cool. So how did you get involved with intramural sports?
Sure. I was hired as the softball coach back in 2006 and became the director of intramurals in 2008. The athletic director added it as part of my duties. So it's been about 8 years now.
How many are offered here at Frostburg?
Currently we offer 10 sports. There are 5 each semester. Some of it's based off of space availability and some of it's based off of what the students want.
So for students who are interested, how can they get involved with intramural sports?
Sure. What we started is a website. It's called imleagues.com. They can go to the Frostburg State University tab, click on it. They sign up using their Frostburg State or Frostburg EDU email address. And then once they're signed up, they can either start a team or join an already created team. So if you have friends who want to join, you can send out an email to them and ask them to join with you.
That's cool. So how could a student start their own intramural sport?
We take all kinds of ideas if people have them. Like I said, if we think people will want to participate in it, we'll certainly give it a try. It's easy enough to do with our sign up and stuff now. So.
Great. So are there any other comments that you'd like to add about intramural sports?
Sure. I mean, I think intramurals is a great way for students to get involved, stay physically active. It's a great way to hang out with your friends and still enjoy some competition and have fun. They're usually in the evenings, so it's a good study break a lot of times. And we just try to get as many people out as we can.
That's great. Thank you so much for coming in, Mr. Landrum. When we return, we will talk to local officials about safety in the community.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
When some people struggle with their mortgage payments, they become frozen, petrified. Not knowing what to do, they do nothing. But the people who do something, the people who take action, are far more likely to get the most positive outcome. Making home affordable is a free government program. Call now to talk one-on-one with a housing expert about the options that are right for you. Real help, real answers, right now.
We have Frostburg State University Police Lieutenant John Ralston and Chief of the Frostburg Fire Department Doug Hanson in the studio with us to discuss safety on campus and at home. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Thanks. Lieutenant Ralston,
yes.
What are some things that students can do to stay safe?
One thing that we can't stress enough is on campus, make sure they lock their dorm room doors. Also, we noticed that a lot of people have a habit of propping open the exterior doors to the dorms. Then we like to encourage them to go on our website and view a safety video that Chief Smith has put together, and also shots fired, a video about an active shooter, because you never know when something like that might happen, and it just keep some ideas in everybody's head. And be familiar with everybody's surroundings, so you're familiar with where you're going, what's normal, and what might be out of place when you're going somewhere. And at night, never walk alone, especially for the females. Always go in at least twos. So that's just a couple of the things that I'd recommend.
Great advice. So Chief Hanson, in regards to fire safety, what are some things that students can do to prevent fires in their homes and dorms?
Well, in the dormitories, what we ask more than anything is just that you follow the general rules of the dormitory. We understand that dormitories have strict rules about what you can bring into the dorms, what you can't bring in. For example, when you're in your rooms, no smoking, no open flame devices like candles or incense, no portable heaters, and no cooking, those type of things. That's what we typically find when we have some calls over here at the university. The other thing is, and a big thing, is when you hear the fire alarm, get out of the building. A lot of times when we're in the building investigating, we'll still find students in the building or don't leave at all. So Sometimes they just get a false sense of security, since it happens a lot, that they stay in the dorms and they don't leave. But more than anything, if you hear the alarm, leave the building, get far enough away from the building, because there's going to be a lot of equipment coming into the scene. Yep. Oh, and I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. As far as off-campus housing goes, that's one of probably our biggest concerns, is because the off-campus housing is much older houses, if you know what I mean. And typically we tell the same advice as we give to a family. No two ways out of the building. If the smoke detector goes off, make sure you get out. You know what it sounds like. Even though you're in the building for 8 months out of the year, you still need to know how to get out. If your first way's blocked, you need to take another way out. And usually under smoke or fire conditions, and it's dark, for example, you need to know that second way out, which could be out onto a porch roof, out a window, or something like that.
That was really helpful. So, Lieutenant, what are some tools available to students if they do find themselves in an emergency?
Well, all around campus, we have what's known as emergency blue lights. So if you're walking around campus and you're uncomfortable about anything, or if you do have an emergency, you can hit the emergency blue light, and it calls directly into our dispatch, and they, of course, dispatch an officer right to that location. So that's one tool. A big tool is just everyone's eyes and ears, being on the lookout, and then actually taking the initiative to report something. And by that, they can use the anonymous tip line that has been set up, which is totally anonymous. A lot of people are worried about, caller ID and everything, and there is no way of tracing the number. So we have absolutely no way of knowing who's calling, where it's coming from. So if you see something, it looks unusual or suspicious or what have you, or if you see a crime in progress, it's 687 STOP, S-T-O-P. It's very simple, and dial that number and report it. So eyes and ears get people involved. You got the police, you got residence life officials, so there's people, there's the tip line, and there's the blue lights. So there's those things out there available to help.
Help students out.
Yes.
Great. Chief Hanson, there was a parade recently in honor of the Frostburg Fire Department. Could you tell us a little bit about the event?
Yes. About a year ago, a family was watching our Facebook very closely, and our person who manages that, firefighter Matt McMorrin, was contacted by them and said, we may have something you might be interested in. And lo and behold, in an old barn in Salisbury, Pennsylvania, was one of our late 1800s hose carts that were basically hand-drawn. We actually have a picture at the fire station, an old black and white picture of 6 firemen pulling a hose cart, which there used to be 6 around the city back in the 1800s. So the family agreed to fully restore this hose reel. And with the help of some local vendors, they were able to restore it back to its full condition, original wheels, original everything on the reel itself. So we thought it would be a good thing in conjunction with National Fire Prevention Week to rededicate the reel that was found, and also the bell from our old station from the tower, because back in the late 1800s into the early 1900s, the way the firemen were alerted was somebody would ring the bell. So the bell was restored and remounted. So we thought, what better way to rededicate the bell and the hose reel in conjunction with National Fire Prevention Week is to have a parade and an event at our station, which was very well attended by about 200, 250 people.
Oh, wow. Let's now take a closer look at some of the activities sponsored by the Frostburg Fire Department. Here's field reporter Wayne Kiefer with more.
There is a long history of fire safety and prevention in Frostburg, Maryland. At one time, there were as many as 4 firehouses scattered around the city. In 1887, Frostburg purchased a fire bell from a company in Baltimore. Originally, it was located in the belfry of City Hall. Before there were sirens, The ringing of the bell alerted firefighters of emergencies. When the Frostburg Fire Department moved to their current location, it was put in storage in the fire hall. It was tarnished over time, so much so that you could not read the letters. The bell has been refurbished and a parade was held in its honor. For the Frostburg Experience, I'm Wayne Kiefer.
That's all the time we have for this episode of the Frostburg Experience. Thank you so much for joining us. I'd like to thank our guests, Lieutenant John Ralston, Chief Doug Hanson, Wesley Landrum, and our Chartwell chefs, Justin Wilson and Adam Kenney. From all of us here at the Frostburg Experience, I'm Minuet Silver. See you next time.